Ever get that feeling, like when you're in a city and it just clicks? Like how to get around, how to move. Like you've got this internal GPS or something.
Yeah, yeah, totally. That sense of being in sync with a city's rhythm.
That's exactly it, the rhythm. Well, today we're going to dive deep into a city where that feeling isn't just a lucky break, it's kind of baked into the system. We're talking about Taipei.
Taipei is like the gold standard when it comes to smooth urban mobility.
Right. And we're zeroing in on two big players and their success story. The Taipei Metro, also called the MRT, and their awesome bike sharing program, YouBike.
So what we're going to unpack is why Taipei's system is so celebrated. What are the ingredients that make it tick? What makes it so good?
Exactly. Because it's not just, oh, they have a subway and bikes, right? It's about the whole ecosystem.
The synergy, how it all works together.
Yes. And we're going to sprinkle in some handy English vocab along the way, words and phrases that are super useful when talking about public transport.
So by the end of this deep dive, you'll not only grasp what makes Taipei's system so special, but you'll also have some new language tools to talk about transportation in any city.
Perfect. Okay, so first stop, let's go underground, literally. The Taipei Metro, the MRT.
Ah, the MRT, the veins of the city. This is Taipei's subway system, and it's extensive.
It's huge, right? Like, how many stations are we talking?
Over 130 stations, and it covers pretty much the entire greater Taipei area,
Yeah.
efficiently moving millions of people daily.
Wow. And one thing that always stands out is the reliability. The trains are, like, famously on time,
Oh, absolutely. It's clockwork.
which is a big deal if you've ever lived in a city with, a less than perfect public transport system.
Where delays are just part of your daily routine, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And the MRT is spotless, too. Super clean.
It's true. So, I'm curious, what contributes to that level of punctuality, do you think?
I think a big part is the dedication to maintenance, and the signaling system has got to be top notch.
Yeah, definitely. It's that operational discipline, that focus on keeping everything running smoothly.
It really shows. And navigating the system as a visitor, it seems really straightforward, right? I've heard the signs are in English too.
Yeah, big plus. Bilingual signage throughout, making it super accessible for tourists and international travelers.
That's huge because language barriers can be a real pain when you're trying to get around a new city.
Totally. And paying for your ride is also a breeze with the EasyCard or the iPASS. You just tap and go.
Yeah, no fumbling with change or trying to figure out complicated ticket machines.
Those cards are lifesavers. And they're not just for the MRT. They have a bunch of other uses, as we'll get to later.
They're like magic keys to the city. Okay, back to the MRT. The stations themselves sound pretty impressive. They're often connected to, like, shopping centers and other transport hubs, right?
Yeah, the integration is amazing. You can often find direct connections to malls, bus terminals, even food courts, all within the station complex.
So you can literally do everything without even going outside, which is probably a lifesaver in, like, bad weather.
Yeah, or during those scorching hot days, you can stay in the cool AC.
Right. Okay, this is a fun fact. During rush hour, there are actually staff members who help manage the flow of passengers.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing, like a well-choreographed dance.
Imagine trying to do that in, like, New York City.
Chaos. But in Taipei, they make it work. It shows a real focus on the passenger experience.
So it's not just about getting you from point A to B. It's about making it a pleasant, stress-free experience.
Exactly. It reminds me of the efficiency you see in Japanese transit systems.
They really take it seriously. Okay, before we move on to YouBike, let's pause for a quick vocabulary moment.
Language power-up.
Okay, so when you're on the metro and need to switch from one line to another, what's that called?
That's a transfer. For example, you might say, I need to transfer to the red line at Taipei Main Station.
Perfect. And when you're using your EasyCard or iPASS, what do you do at those little electronic readers?
You tap it, so make sure to tap your card when entering and exiting the station.
Got it. And the cost of your ride, what's the word for that?
That's the fare. You could ask, what's the fare to Simending? Or the fare is calculated based on the distance traveled.
And where do you wait for your train? What's that area called?
That's the platform. They often make announcements like, please stand behind the yellow line on the platform.
Makes sense. And finally, the specific line or direction a train is going in, what do we call that?
That's the route. You can check the MRT route map to find the best way to get to where you're going.
Okay, vocabulary boost achieved. Let's head back above ground and talk about YouBike.
YouBike, Taipei's public bike sharing program. It's like the perfect complement to the MRT.
I was reading about it, and it seems ideal for those shorter trips, or for exploring neighborhoods at a more relaxed pace.
Yeah, YouBike is great for that. It fills that gap where walking might be too far,
Mhm.
but a taxi or bus isn't really necessary.
Plus, it's got to be amazing for, like, riding along the riverside or through parks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the availability is incredible. There are literally hundreds of YouBike stations all over the city.
Seriously, so, like, no matter where you are, there's probably a station nearby.
Pretty much. That accessibility is one of the reasons it's so popular.
And just like with the MRT, I hear you can rent a YouBike with your EasyCard. Just tap and go.
Yep, super easy. Just tap your card on the sensor at the docking station, unlock the bike, and you're off.
So convenient. And this is interesting. I read that for a while, the first 30 minutes were either free or super cheap.
Oh, yeah. That was a brilliant move to get people to try it out.
Yeah,
Lower the barrier to entry.
makes total sense. Okay, another quick vocab stop. Where do you leave the bike when you're done riding?
You return it to a bike rack at any YouBike station.
Simple. So you could say, I'll just park the YouBike at the bike rack over there.
Exactly. Easy peasy. Okay, let's shift gears back to the EasyCard for a bit. This thing is like way more than just a transport pass, right?
Yeah, it's like a multi-tool. Tell me more about that.
So it's this contactless smart card. And in Taipei, pretty much everyone uses it.
Yeah, I heard it's like a must-have for daily life.
For real.
Yeah.
And while it's essential for the MRT and YouBike, its functionality goes way beyond transportation.
I was surprised to learn just how much you can do with it. It's kind of mind-blowing.
Right, you can use it on buses, in convenience stores, at vending machines, even to pay for parking in some car parks.
Wow. So it really does act like a digital wallet, making things so much simpler.
Exactly. It streamlines so many everyday transactions. And in 2023, they introduced this awesome monthly transit pass for NT $1,200.
Oh, yeah. That's a steal, especially if you use public transport a lot.
Huge value, especially for commuters. It gives you unlimited rides on the MRT, city buses, and even extends to certain areas outside of Taipei, like Taiwan.
That's incredible. Okay, but here's where it gets really wild. The EasyCard can be used in other countries, too.
Yep, you heard that right. Since 2022, you can use your Taipei EasyCard in select spots in Okinawa, Japan.
Wait, seriously? Like in Okinawa?
Yeah, places like the Okinawa Chirami Aquarium, the Kyoto Service Area. You can even use it on some buses and taxis there.
That's so cool. I wonder how they managed to make that work, like the technical side of things.
It's got to be some serious tech wizardry and agreements between the regions.
Right. And it's not just Okinawa. Some Lottie duty-free stores in Korea accept it, too.
That's right. It's pretty amazing, that level of international integration.
It speaks to a really forward-thinking approach, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely ahead of the curve. And back in Taipei, they have this really cool system of discounted transfers. So like if you use the MRT and then hop on a bus or grab a U-bike within a certain time frame, you get a fair reduction.
Oh, that's awesome. So it encourages people to use multiple modes of transport, which makes sense for a city.
Exactly. Makes it easier to connect different parts of Taipei without breaking the bank.
Hmm.
And it highlights the interconnectedness of their system.
Right. It all comes back to that seamless integration. Okay, a few more vocabulary gems before we wrap things up. What do we call that device where you tap your EasyCard, to pay or enter a station?
That's a card reader.
Yeah.
Simple and to the point.
And we've mentioned it a few times, but what's that term for the busiest times on public transport?
Oh, you mean rush hour? Classic.
Yeah. Like, try to avoid traveling during rush hour. It's packed.
Solid advice. And remember, if you break the rules on the MRT, like eating or drinking, you might get hit with a what?
A penalty.
Yep. So be mindful, there's a penalty for eating or drinking on the Taipei Metro.
Keep it clean, people. Which brings us to another important aspect of the Taipei Metro accessibility. It seems like they've made a real effort to make the system usable for everyone.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Accessibility is a huge priority. The entire system is designed to be inclusive.
And they provide a lot of support, right? Like for people with visual impairments.
Yeah, they have staff who assist with boarding and even help arrange assistance at the destination station. It's really impressive, that level of care.
It's heartwarming to see, honestly.
It shows a genuine commitment to serving the entire community, ensuring everyone can use public transport comfortably and with dignity.
Exactly. And it's not limited to visual impairments. They've also designed some train cars to accommodate passengers with bicycles or pregnant women.
Yeah, with dedicated areas and priority seating, they've really thought of everything.
It's those little details that make a big difference. Okay, last vocabulary word. The general term for all those features that make a system usable by people with disabilities.
That's accessibility.
Mm-hmm.
Like Taipei's MRT has excellent accessibility features.
It does. Now, for anyone planning a trip to Taipei, let's equip you with some essential English phrases to navigate public transport like a pro.
Let's do it.
First up, if you need to find a particular station, you can ask, how do I get to station? For example, how do I get to Taipei 101 station?
And once you're at a station with multiple exits, you might need to ask, which exit should I take? Like, which exit leads to the night market?
And when you're about to board a train, you want to make sure you're on the right ones. For example, is this the right line for Tamsui?
If you're in the mood for some cycling, you'll need to know where to find those U-bikes. Ask, where can I rent a U-bike? Or where's the nearest U-bike station?
And if you're not sure about transfers, you can always ask, do I need to transfer? For example, do I need to transfer at Zonsho Fuxing?
To figure out the cost of your journey, just ask, how much is the fare? Like, how much is the fare from Taipei, Maine to Xiamen?
And finally, to confirm if you can use your trusty EasyCard, ask, can I use EasyCard for this? For example, can I use EasyCard on the bus to Taiyuan?
With those phrases in your pocket, you'll be navigating Taipei like a local in no time.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up our deep dive into Taipei's impressive public transport system, it's clear that the MRT, U-Bike, and the amazing EasyCard work together to create a truly seamless and enjoyable experience.
They've really cracked the code, making it efficient, clean, and user-friendly for both residents and visitors.
It really makes you think, what about our own cities or other places we've traveled? What's that one thing about a public transport system that really makes or breaks the experience for you?
Yeah, what makes it truly convenient
Or
or a joy to use?
is it the reliability, the ease of payment, the cleanliness, or something else entirely? We'd love to hear your thoughts on what makes urban transit truly great.